Okay, so here we are with our regional kingdoms. So we're going to take a break from looking at the Mauryan and Gupta and focus on these kingdoms that are situated near and are very important to India. The first is Bactria. Bactria is in northwest India, so kind of over in the corner in to the north. I'll show it to you on the map in just a second. This was a place where Alexander was very influential, and that's where you get the Greek influence. Bactria continued to have Greek speakers and Greek settlers because Alexander, as we'll learn in chapter 10, moved a lot of Greeks to this region. And that led to a lot of Greek culture mixing with Buddhism and Hinduism. So you get these things called, I like to call the Toga Buddhas, where you have these Buddhas who are looking and wearing very Greek clothing. This also occurs in Kush, modern Afghanistan, and other countries too. So they're in northern India slash Central Asia, kind of riding north of the Himalayas. And they last from 100 to 300 CE, and they not a lot is known about them, but we know they were really fierce warriors. We see remnants of that in Afghanistan, and that they were extremely wealthy because they basically controlled the Silk Road up in the north. They were responsible for collecting taxes and making sure that the roads were safe and well maintained. And they did a great job of this and made a lot of money doing it. So in this map, you can see these different areas. So Kushan is to the north here, and the purple below is the Guptas, right? And then over north of the Sassanid Empire, we have Bactria, right in the north there, okay? And this green empire over here, what is this? Rome slash Byzantium. That's why we've got that capital of Constantinople there. A little later on, because Rome had split at this time, or was in the process of splitting, depending on when you look at it. Anyways, oh, remember that capital of Ctesiphon with the Parthians? Yes. This also gives you a great look at the different trade routes, both the sea routes and the Silk Road and the Persian Road. All right, so later on we have the Guptas. The Guptas are not as important for their political stuff. They're more important because of their cultural contributions. So 320 is when they're founded in 320 CE. So again, towards the end of the classical era. And technically they're done in 647, but actually things are pretty much at an end for the Guptas in the 5th century with the White Hun invasions. Oh, those Huns, they're always messing with um, different different empires, just like the Chinese. So Chandragupta founded them. They were smaller than the Mauryan Empire. They were more decentralized and relied more on their regional authorities to collect taxes, to maintain power. They relied on regional princes essentially. But they did have this knowledge and culture explosion. They were extremely wealthy, again, because of trade. And the 5th century, these White Hun invasions ended the Gupta. So you can see in this map that those Huns are coming from the north and really separating out the kingdom. And in between these kingdoms, India really exists pretty stably because of their caste system, but they are um, in regional kingdoms. Okay, Gupta achievements. Holy cow, lots. So, in terms of medicine, they did a ton. They were inoculating people against different diseases. So, they basically created vaccines using dead or old versions of a virus. They even performed C-sections successfully on women who were pregnant. They gave plastic surgery. So very LA of them. And they had huge medical guides that eventually the Arabs got their hands on. Um, and they identified healing plants and classified diseases. They were so far ahead of their time in this area. In terms of literature, they were writing a ton, like the Kalidasa, the Kama Sutra, and the epics that we'll get into um, in the other PowerPoint, the Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita from the Mahabharata. Um, Again, I'll spell those for you on the other PowerPoint. In terms of astronomy, they were amazing. They had a solar calendar and they knew that the Earth was round. So they had estimated the length of the year really well. And mathematics, our decimal system, our Arabic numerals, that actually comes from India. The reason we call them Arabic numerals is because we got those numerals from the Arabs during the Middle Ages. They understood the concept and used the concept of zero, and they also figured out pi. So the Guptas were amazing in terms of their cultural brilliance. All right. So the next section of this video is going to get into trade. So I'm going to pause us there and we will continue with focusing on a little bit of key concept 2.2, but mainly key concept 2.3.